Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Scout, joined by my co-host, back from the trenches of sickness, Jill, and today we will be discussing Super Edition number 5, Yellowfang's Secret, as well as the manga Exile from ShadowClan.
Hi, everyone.
Jillian, my friend.
I know, it's been so long.
Oh, it's been 84 years.
Yeah, literally. So for listeners, as an FYI, prior to me falling ill this summer, we had 6 episodes in the tank. We were like on it, and then I got sick. three times.
This is the method paying off, because
it is.
Did we burn through half of our backlog while you were recovering from a million illnesses? Yes, but hey, we still got 3 in the can.
Yeah.
Oh, but I've missed talking to you. We were saying before we officially started the recording that we missed talking about cats with each other.
For reference, listeners, today is August 27th, 2023. The last time we recorded, Twitter was still called Twitter.
Oh, no. Oh, I just felt like I had a full body experience of hearing that. Everything recoiled.
Yeah, that's how long it's been.
Oh no.
But yes, so I went on I got sick, and then I had family visit, and then I went on vacation, and then I got sick again, and then I went to a wedding, and yeah, it has just been this summer. Whew.
It's been a summer for you. I am glad that you
it's been a while
are starting to feel better, though. I'm glad that you went to the doctor and you found out that you needed some medicine for your lungs.
Yeah, my shitty lungs, which, is very relevant to what we're talking about today, actually.
Damn, true.
But before we get to that, Scout, do we want to talk about how the Prey's running?
I would love to talk about how the Prey is running. I tell you what, for me today, the forest is empty. The forest is sparse. Not had much by way of prey.
Sustenance.
The sustenance has been few and far between today, just because it's a Sunday evening, and Sundays are usually it's the last day before the week starts again, and it's like I don't feel like doing jack shit today.
Yeah, it was very much that kind of day. It was a very girl dinner sort of day for me and Eric. We ordered breakfast from the convenience store, and then neither of us were particularly hungry for lunch, so we had soda and chips for snacks in the afternoon, and then neither of us were particularly hungry for dinner. So we ordered burritos, which I've already regaled you about how disappointing my burrito was.
You hate to have a disappointing burrito.
Yeah, I mean, the burrito was fine. It just could have been better. Although, I will say, the weekend I went to, or the wedding I went to last weekend, the food was so good. Yes. I had so much delicious food. I
love that.
Swear to you, I was in a food coma on our drive back home on Sunday. I was in the car trying to write, and I just kept dozing off because I had eaten so much delicious spicy food. It was so good.
I love that for you.
It was great. But yeah, so Prey's running fine. I haven't picked up Clan Gen in a while because I've been busy with being sick and also with a lot of projects that are in the works.
Yeah, you've been busy. I also haven't been playing too much. I haven't played any more Clan Gen. What I have been playing is a lot of Crusader Kings 3.
Yes.
Which kind of weirdly similar to Clan Gen in some ways. I kind of, as a, guy who's only ever listened to Persona saying, oh, the jazz giving me big Persona vibes, me pointing at Crusader Kings, this is giving me Clan Gen energy.
Incredible. I have wanted to try that. I feel like it would be very fun.
Oh, I'm having a delightful time. Highly recommend Crusader Kings 3.
I don't think I've really been playing all that many video games because I am waiting in eager anticipation of the day that Eric and I get Baldur's Gate 3 for the PS5, and then my husband and I will lose ourselves to the realm of Faerun. I am so excited. We've got a second controller so that we can both play together.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. I'm so excited for you.
I'm so excited. We have been watching our friend Erin play it, and it's been a great time. And even though we have been watching him play it for several hours, we still have like really not even been spoiled for much at all, which is great.
Because I've heard there's so much to the game.
There's so much to it, and I'm so excited.
I realized a couple weeks ago that I could buy Baldur's Gate and play it on the Steam Deck, which is probably not the optimal situation, but it is the one situation in which I would be able to play it, considering I don't have a PC or a PS5.
Right.
So, you know, I might do that once
might consider it.
I did not even think to look and check. We haven't done a quiz in a while. I didn't check to see if there's like a Yellowfang
Well,
quiz.
let me go check. The thing is, though, if we did a Yellowfang quiz, it would have a lot of
spoilers
stuff
because we will be seeing Yellowfang a lot more later as well. So, yeah, you're probably right. We'll save a Yellowfang quiz for another time.
Oh, there is a quiz for just Yellowfang's secret.
Ooh, there we go. So
Yeah.
we could do one. We could do a Yellowfang secret quiz.
And there's also one with how well do you know Yellowfang. So we'll just do this one then.
All right.
I think this will be good, especially because you read this book before I got sick, and I just read the book this weekend.
For the viewers, yeah, for the viewers, for the listeners, I think I read this like, it's gotta be like 6 weeks ago,
yeah,
huh?
It's just like, 6 weeks ago.
And I set up the doc and everything then too, because we had been hoping to record, and then everything happened all at once.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take this quiz.
Yeah. Oh no! I only got 2 out of 6?
Oh no!
What happened?
Which 2 did you get right?
I got, why did Ragged Pelt kill his father? Spoilers. And which pair of kits was Yellowfang accused of killing? I got all the others wrong. Oh no.
Damn. Yeah, I only got 2 wrong. I got what made Yellowfang finally decide to embrace her destiny as a medicine cat, and which of these cats did not give a life in both Ragged Star and Broken Star's leader ceremonies.
See, I think I'm right. I feel like, first of all, Sage Whisker told Yellowpaw that they had to accept it was Silver Flame's time to walk with StarClan, which Yellowpaw took to mean Sage Whisker had given up on her, is what happens in that scene. But they say that it's because Sage Whisker
didn't try hard enough. This is also the one that was correct is the one that
had a typo in it, which says Sage Whisker twice.
Incredible.
Oh, sorry to drag the warriorcats.com.
No, it's fine. Oh, man. All right.
Before we get into the summary today, I wanted to give a heads up that although the stories that we are covering today do line up in our chronological read, like from where they begin, due to the fact that they end up spanning such a wide range of time, we are going to be speaking about and spoiling some things that happen in the first 2 books of The Prophecies Begin, the original 2003 arc of the novels. So there will be major spoilers in here for both Into the Wild and Fire and Ice. It's really not, there's no way to avoid it. So
yeah.
An unfortunate situation of the way that these are written. But if you don't care about spoilers or you know what happens, come along on the journey with us. Otherwise, if you really, really don't want to know what's going to happen...
and it really is mostly just to Yellowfang.
Yeah, it is all of this stuff that we're going to see from different angles later. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to know, if you're like, I am full on embargo on any information about Into the Wild or Fire and Ice, You'll have to skip this episode for now and come back around to us. Probably, I'm guessing Blue Star will also cover some of this stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the disclaimer. Thank you. Good night. Except
we
not
love
good
you.
night, because we love you. Thank you for listening. Here we go. I'm going to read the summary. Young ShadowClan cat Yellow Kit is filled with a deep love and pride for her clan, and wants nothing more than to support it by being the greatest warrior she can be. From a young age, she struggles with phantom pains that mirror the injuries or illnesses of others, but despite this, she throws herself into warrior training when she is apprenticed as Yellowpaw. During apprenticeship, she forms a strong friendship with fellow trainee Raggedpaw. He confides in her that clan gossip concerning his father's identity weighs heavily on him. Later, after he's earned his warrior name, Ragged Pelt, Yellowpaw convinces him to explore Two Leg Place with her and investigate his heritage. They meet an unfriendly gang of city strays and are pointed toward a Tom named Hal, who denies knowing anything about the clans despite bearing a striking resemblance to Ragged Pelt. Yellowpaw finishes her apprenticeship soon after, earning the name Yellowfang. She and Ragged Pelt grow closer still, despite not always seeing eye to eye, and eventually become mates. Not long after this, the camp is raided by the Two Leg Place cats. During the battle, Yellowfang finds Ragged Pelt and his mother, Featherstorm, confronting Hal, who now admits to fathering Featherstorm's sons. He taunts and belittles Ragged Pelt, who furiously lashes out, killing him with a single blow, finally tying a knot in this loose thread of his history. As routines return to normal, Yellowfang's pains begin interfering during skirmishes, leaving her intensely hurting even when she sustains no injuries. Sage Whisker, the clan's medicine cat, confronts her, forcing her to admit what they've both realized. Yellowfang can feel other cats' pain as though it was her own. Sage Whisker calls it a gift from StarClan and implores Yellowfang to give up the warrior's path and to become a medicine cat. Not wanting to forfeit her dreams or her mate, Yellowfang at first refuses, but her powers only grow more intense, and she begrudgingly accepts that healing is her destiny. She breaks the news to Ragged Pelt, recently promoted to deputy, but neither of them can let go of their feelings. They agree to continue their relationship in secret. As the seasons change, Yellowfang's medicine cat apprenticeship progresses smoothly. Ragged Pelt trains his first apprentice, Cloudpaw, and for a time it seems they'll be able to pull off their hidden relationship. But when Cloudpaw is gravely injured in a skirmish while his mentor and Yellowfang steal time alone together, the consequences of their arrangement become apparent. Yellowfang works tirelessly to bring Cloudpaw back from the brink of death, and while she is successful, this ordeal is her last straw. She breaks it off with Ragged Pelt for good this time. But it doesn't take long for her to realize that her secret hasn't let go of her yet. For she is pregnant with Ragged Pelt's kits. Concealing her pregnancy, Yellowfang carries on with her duties, plagued by ominous dreams where kittens fight to the death. She gives birth in secret. Of her 3 kits, only one survives, a tom kit with a kink in his tail. While she has resolved to give the kit away and never reveal herself as his mother, she spends one night with him. She's frightened by the anger she senses in him, even as a newborn, but hopes Ragged Pelt's paternal love will be enough to shape him through childhood. She calls him Broken Kit, not for his tail, but for the way her heart breaks when she says goodbye to him. Ragged Pelt ascends to leadership, becoming Ragged Star. He and Yellowfang's relationship is now distant and cold. Occasionally, they argue over Broken Kit as he grows into a fearsome cat, valuing strength above all else. She hopes his mentor, Nightpelt, will be a good influence on him, but Nightpelt's inexperience and chronic cough only leads to a doubling down on Broken Paw's beliefs once he earns his warrior name, Broken Tail. Fiercely ambitious and favored by his father, he quickly gains the role of deputy. Haunted still by violent dreams, Yellowfang fears there may be no end to her son's desire for power. unexpected tragedy strikes. Mortal wounds sustained in a border dispute with Wind Clan strip Ragged Star of all 9 lives at once. Succeeding his father, Broken Tail, now Broken Star, begins to enact frightening changes to the clan. He prioritizes battle training above all else and exiles the elders, including cough-ridden Nightpelt, claiming caring for the elderly and infirm is draining the clan's resources. Most concerning, he begins apprenticing kits before they've reached 6 moons old, sending cats as young as 3 moons into battles where they are terribly injured or killed. When Yellowfang tries to push back against Broken Star's policies, he retaliates by pinning the death of 2 newborn kittens on her, using the tragedy to banish her completely from ShadowClan. Bereft and heartsick, Yellowfang wanders, not bothering to sleep or eat, eventually stumbling into ThunderClan territory. There, a young Tom with a flame-colored coat discovers her. Given asylum by ThunderClan, she wonders if she can convince them to help her liberate ShadowClan from the tyrannical rule of the sun she couldn't control. What a fucking...
What a fucking book, y'all.
Oh, these books go. Okay. That was a long one, but strap in. We've still got Exile from ShadowClan. All right. Whew. In Exile from ShadowClan, we follow Nightpelt and the Elders, discarded by Broken Star, as they establish a new camp on the edge of ShadowClan territory. Already struggling with feelings of uselessness due to his early retirement and persistent cough, Nightpelt fears Broken Star's point might be proven. However, when the Elders work together to support themselves across several seasons, he realizes that caring for the so-called weak only strengthens a community. While the exiled cats thrive, they collect scraps of information about their clan's struggles under Broken Star's rule. Cats who disagree with him, like Yellowfang, are forced out. And they are constantly picking fights with other clans, even driving Wind Clan from the territory completely. Nightpelt laments that their small forces alone aren't enough to overtake Broken Star and his allies, but his hope is rekindled when Yellowfang arrives, bringing ThunderClan support. Together, the combined forces make their move and are able to subdue the tyrant, who admits to killing Ragged Star himself as well as killing the kids, whose death he used to frame Yellowfang. He is driven off, leaving ShadowClan battered and bereft, but intact. As the Elders rejoin the main camp and the clan rebuilds, Nightpelt is asked to take over as leader. Touched, he accepts. But when he visits the Moonstone to receive his 9 lives, StarClan greets him grimly, explaining that they cannot bestow him leadership when Broken Star still lives. Nightpelt is appalled to learn that Broken Star has technically kept his promise. He made ShadowClan the most feared clan in the forest, and now StarClan claims they are powerless to revoke his 9 lives. A demoralized Nightpelt resolves to continue supporting ShadowClan through his leadership, returning to the camp as Nightstar, with or without StarClan's blessing.
So Yellowfang's secret.
She sure do have a secret.
She's got quite a few. A couple, actually.
Yeah, a couple,
One more than I thought she did.
Okay, were you also completely blindsided by the fact that she has magic powers?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I had no idea.
I thought, I was like, maybe I just forgot that this is something that they talked about.
No, I don't ever remember that being a thing.
But it really, it smacked me. It smacked me in the head. I was like, oh my god, wait. She has a magic power?
Yeah, it's wild. The first note I wrote, Yellow Kit, I'm an empath.
Literally?
Like... Oh man, it completely took me by surprise because I don't ever remember that being a thing.
Yeah, and I don't think that it was really don't think that it was a thing until this book, and I don't think they even ended up really talking about it in any of her other appearances, because later in, like, across the whole course of the timeline, we'll be getting a lot of Yellowfang, because in the end she actually sort of, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that she ends up being sort of a StarClan emissary, kind of like one of the main cats that communicates to the clans via StarClan, like, as time passes, because like, a lot of time goes by. And I don't think that it's ever brought up. And there's certain areas where I would expect it to have come up. I won't say more for now.
Yeah. No, it was really, I don't know, it just feels like a weird addition, because it feels like they needed a reason to make her be a medicine cat.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like, okay.
We have to give her a reason to have been a warrior and then a medicine cat. Like, and they couldn't think of anything other than...
she has special power that make her medicine cat.
Yeah.
I do think that it adds a certain level of, there is a certain level of interest that you can sort of project onto it, in the fact that, like, maybe she is known as a very cranky, curmudgeonly character, and it's like, well, maybe part of that is the fact that she's, like, always having to deal with this other thing that nobody knows about, but that is, like, a big part of her life, and that's interesting. But also just I think the fact that she had so much love as a child and saw so much pain be enacted like, throughout her life is enough of a reason for her to be very cranky and still have that hit really good.
Yeah. I don't know. It was an interesting...
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm not necessarily, like, against it.
I'm not upset about it. It's just interesting.
It's just sort of a wild choice. I don't know. It really surprised me. Speaking of Erin choices, Erin's love to write a story about the inexorable certainty of destiny. They keep doing this. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Not really. But
yeah.
But y'all really they got a lot. Erin's got a lot of feelings about predestined scenarios, huh?
They've got a lot to say about predestined scenarios. Oh man. I think just in general, Yellowfang has always been such a, like, I don't want to say unique character, because it's not that. Just such a strong, like, she leaves such a strong impression.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed getting to see the softer side of Yellowfang, because when you're first introduced to her, it's that scene at the end of this book where she first meets Firepaw, and you're like, oh my god, this old lady is such an ass.
Just this, like, cranky old lady, and seeing what brought her to that is so
it's
good.
Devastating. Oh my lord. Like, one of the first things I wrote down was that, like, the scene where she has sympathy for the badger.
Bro,
and she's like,
yeah.
I don't want to have to kill the badger's kids because they're in our space. And she, like, feels good that they didn't have to kill him because the badger just ran away. I was like, oh, she, like, feels the pain of her clan, so she can imagine the pain of, like, creatures that are, for the most part, not considered sentient in this universe. She breaks my heart.
I know, me too.
I love Yellowfang so much.
And I think that's one of the reasons, I think also going back to the magic power for a second, that, like, it feels like it hits so funny because she's already such a strong character. Like, they didn't need to do something to make her interesting.
Right.
Because she already, like, sort of exudes this sort of, like, she doesn't have to have a magic pain-feeling power to have empathy and, like, express a unique and special kind of empathy that might be helpful to her in medicine cat life, or just, like, is very different from a lot of what we see from, like, the other cats and warriors in the series. But yeah, it's so good. I love Yellowfang a lot.
Yeah, wow, what a great character.
So good. And I'm so delighted that we have this, and this is, like, our first experience with her in this reading order, because now what we're going to see, sort of what you alluded to there, is we're going to see her be very much just, like, she's always, everybody's like, she's cranky, she's scary, she's like messy, her fur is always fucked up. I loved the detail that she is always like sort of ungroomed because she's too fucking busy, and she's like, when am I supposed to have time to groom myself? Like,
I'm fucking
I have so
saving
much
lives
fucking
over
fur. Here. And I'm saving
if
lives
I were a goddamn
here.
kitty pet, I'd be getting brushed every day. Like, I have that much fur.
Mm-hmm.
Sage Whisker was an interesting character to me because, like, very clearly Yellowfang adores her, especially towards the end of Sage Whisker's life. But, like, Sage Whisker insisting on Yellowfang becoming a medicine cat was so, like, frustrating to me. Because I feel like there were so many better ways she could have done it.
It was very much like, for a character who is supposed to clearly be sympathetic and like, and is set up to be guiding Yellowfang down this path that she didn't expect, it's very much kind of has the feeling of like, this cat is blackmailing this other cat.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
It's wild. I mean, like, by the end, I really did love Sage Whisker as well. But, like, early on, I was like, Sage Whisker, this is not how you get a cat who is so excited about being a warrior and, like, literally on the way to starting a family to be a medicine cat.
I know, it's so...
Try a different approach.
And I think it's a really interesting parallel to what we saw with Brambleberry, the medicine cat that was... sort of knew that there was some shit going on with Crooked Star throughout his whole life, and had this feeling that there was some sort of destiny that he was hurtling towards, but was trying so much to be hands off and just let him choose his own path. I think there's an interesting parallel here with Sage Whisker, who's like, you have a destiny and you're going to fulfill it whether you like it or not, young lady.
Yeah, exactly.
I think both of them had sort of flawed executions, because like to be alive is to be human, is to make mistakes, right? Even as a warrior cat. But I thought that was interesting to sort of see two very different versions of a similar scenario. I would love to talk about Ragged Pelt / Ragged Star a little bit. What was your vibe on him?
I have complicated feelings about him.
Yeah, I did too, which is why I'm really curious to hear yours, because I had a hard time.
Yeah. So, my first note on Ragged Pelt is every toxic young adult angsty boyfriend.
He is Edward Cullen.
I was just about to say he's so Edward Cullen. Oh my god. Like, yes, he is that. Like, I don't know if I think he's well written or if I think he's inconsistently written. It's really difficult for me to say. There were times I was definitely rooting for the two of them. And then there were times I was like, why is he acting like this?
Yeah, it was very... I couldn't figure out if it was something, if it was a character choice that Cherith as the author of this one, and the Erins in general as a writing team, were trying to make with him, that like they were purposefully making him very inconsistent in being very like switching back and forth really quickly from very loving to like colder, and being kind of unpredictable in that way, or if it is just a side effect of, we have a story to tell and it is a specific story, and so we're kind of like working in the tropes and kind of the archetypes that we want to invoke here.
Yeah, I truly do not know.
Yeah, I can't decide which one I think it is.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like there's enough evidence either way.
Exactly.
But I will say what I really enjoyed about him was watching their relationship develop.
I really liked the development, and I really liked being able to, like, it's juicy when two exes still have to work together, okay?
It is. Yes. Oh my god, they're so divorced.
They're so divorced.
Oh man. It's like, okay, this is gonna be a pull, but so when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were coming out, And like when everybody was playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So one of my Twitter mutuals got very into the ship of Larry and Geeta because they were like, I just think they have the most divorced couple energy and he has to still work for her. And I'm like, wow.
Oh no.
Exact same dynamic here.
It is. This is why you don't listen. This is why workplace relationships are so like they're
fun.
Risky. They're
and
fun
and fun to read about because wow, the drama. God, and all the times he's like, I thought you were going to be my deputy and stuff like that. I was like, damn, dude, you were like, he was really like hyping up the nepotism from the beginning.
Dude, nepotism central with this man.
Yeah.
Because it's been, like I said, it's been over a month since I read this book, but he also makes his brother his deputy, right? Does Scorch...
No.
No, he doesn't.
He makes his apprentice his deputy.
He does make his apprentice his deputy, though, so that's still some nepotism.
Yeah, and then he makes his son his deputy.
Bad choice. Bad choice on his part.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the... it was frustrating, but frustrating in like a fun way.
And he also made his girlfriend his deputy.
Oh my God. Okay, I know that you also messaged me about this, and I wrote this note. We have to talk about that her name is Foxheart. Okay, for those who don't understand how fucking funny this is, you will see if you read these books, you will see that the cats have their own sort of cat curses or cat insults, and one of them is... to call somebody a foxheart is to call them like they're a coward or they're
devious, despicable, like two-faced, things like that.
Yes, exactly. So imagine, I know that they get like, can you imagine naming your child chicken shit idiot? That's what's happening here.
Yeah, or devious bastard.
Yeah, it's so... I just couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah,
Who did this?
Man.
Like the fucking... Her mom and her leader conspired to just name her bastard daughter. Like...
Oh, man.
Craven motherfucker. Like...
Jesus Christ. That's such a good way of putting it. Craven motherfucker. The names in this book, because I know you have opinions about names, and for once, like, I noticed it too.
Yeah,
a lot of pelts, a lot of fangs. There were two lizards, Lizard Stripe and Lizard Fang, and I got them confused all the time.
Oh yeah, it was impossible to keep tabs on who was who. I think I saw something somewhere where someone was like, I'm just headcanoning that the lizard elder, which I think was Lizard Stripe. I don't even fucking know. But one of them was named Lizard Stripe. One of them was named Lizard Fang. One was an elder. One was like a younger cat. And somebody just said that they're related. Like one is the grandfather or grandparent and is named and the younger one is named after the older one. And that's their headcanon. And I was like, that's the only way that this is okay. Because this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
They got off to such a good start with Silverflame, too. Like, one of the first cats we're introduced to is Silverflame, and I was like, Silverflame fucking rocks! What a good name!
Yeah, Silverflame was a great name.
I loved Silverflame in general. Great character, great name. Oh, the scenes where Yellowfang thinks about how proud she is to look like her mother and her grandmother because they sort of implied they are a different breed of cat. I think they're Persians, is sort of how I've always envisioned them because they have these broad, flatter faces.
Mm-hmm.
And like her having so much pride in like, we look different and I just love that I look like my mom and I look like my grandma was just...
Yeah. The amount of like, while there was like a lot of family drama, there was also some really nice, like good family moments. Like for the first time in a while, we've gotten a protagonist whose parents don't like hate them.
Her parents love her so much, and they're always talking about how proud they are of her no matter what she does. It just...
they just care so much, and I love that for them.
They care.
Glad to see Goosefeather's still a bitch.
What is happening with good? I'm so scared to read Blue Star's Prophecy because
oh, dog, it's not gonna be good.
it's gonna be bad. I don't know what happened to him. What happened to my boy?
He gone loco. Also, this was like a throwaway line, but I'm pretty sure there's polyamory in this book.
Oh, give me the lowdown.
Toadskip has two mates concurrently.
Who does?
Toadskip. He's got two wives.
Oh, fuck yeah, Toadskip. Let's fucking go. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did talk about that, didn't they?
Uh-huh. He's got, let's see, who's he? Pool Cloud and Nettlespot, like, at the same time.
Yeah.
It was wild. I was like, now hang on.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so that's interesting. That's just a fun little tidbit.
I love that,
to point out. There's also discussions of cat abortion in this book.
Wait. Was there?
Yeah, Sage Whisker said when Sage Whisker took Yellowfang out of the camp, she was like talking to Yellowfang about like, I know that you're pregnant, I know you're about to have kids, but you are a medicine cat. Like, she straight up asked if Yellowfang was gonna kill her kids. Or like if she wanted to kill the kids before they're born. I was like, whoa! In my Warriors books, this is incredible.
Yeah, I think either I had forgotten that detail or I thought of it more that she was like, you're gonna deliver the babies and then kill them immediately.
Yeah,
which
but
is
like,
equally fucked up.
I'm like 90% sure that I feel like in a book before they have discussed like herbs that cats can take to like induce abortion.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had something like that. They have everything else. They have agriculture eventually. So of course
exactly.
they
have snowball fights in this one too on a lighter
They did
note.
have snowball fights. Anyways, Warrior Cat's pro-choice. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
I gotta take a few minutes in the middle here to talk about the timeline here. Because nothing in this book lines up with anything.
I know.
How did this happen? We read, there were like some things that you could say were like maybe confused or inconsistent when it came with stuff that was happening concurrently from different perspectives when reading Crooked Star's Promise and reading Tall Star's Revenge. There were some overlap things that's like, it was maybe a little bit funky, but like there was enough, the suspension of disbelief was fine and it wasn't that much, so it wasn't really that noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad.
It's egregious because I also took note. I was looking at stuff earlier, and I put this in the fandom section, but I'll bring it up now. Between this and Tall Star's Revenge, the same battle is given entirely different details.
It's completely different.
In Tall Star's Revenge, Wind Clan wins. In Yellowfang's Secret, ShadowClan wins. And while I would love to say that it is a matter of the perspective from which the book is being told, I know the errands, and I know that's not what's going on.
It's to the point with that one that it's so different that I'm not completely convinced it's not a different, like, completely different battle, but it's also written with enough details that it's like, this is probably the same battle.
Oh no, it literally is the same battle. It's just there are different details.
Everything is different. Like in one of them, Cedar Star isn't there, and the other one, Cedar Star is there. Mm-hmm. So, there's a bunch of cats that aren't mentioned. The one that really stuck out to me was Mudfur showing up here. Okay, we had a whole segment in the previous episode about Mudfur, about how cool his whole story is, the way that he was a warrior, that he decided he didn't want to be a warrior anymore. He was tired of fighting cats and hurting cats and wanted to change to helping cats. And so he became a medicine cat in his later years. Like, he became a medicine cat when he was an adult, similar to Yellowfang. You would have thought, wow, that would be so interesting and great to see those two interacting, considering that they had similar but different sort of paths where they were warriors and then they were medicine cats. And it was like they had to change paths and it was different. No! Mudfur fucking shows up here as a medicine cat apprentice named Mudpaw. He is small. He is a child.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, but they introduce him as Mudfur, and then in the next paragraph, they call him Mudpaw.
Really? Because I could have sworn it was Mudpaw the whole way through.
No, they call him Mudfur, and then he's Mudpaw for the rest of the book.
Oh no! And he acts like, oh, you know, he's not acting like an adult. He's acting like an apprentice. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely
unhinged.
Yeah, there's some other stuff in here that I would have had closer to the front of my mind right after reading this that I can't remember what it was, but there were so many moments where I was like, this is really, I know we've talked about it, but they need somebody to keep track of these things. They need to hire a person specifically for this.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
I mean, I know it doesn't really matter that much, but it just, I don't know, it just, guys.
No, I agree. It's hard for the super editions, especially because none of them are written in chronological order.
Yeah, they're written all the fuck over the place.
But,
they're written like years apart.
You really could just make like a nice big poster board and hang it in the office of the timeline. I feel
if
like.
You know, if this is the, you know, it's one thing if like it's one person, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like one person and they're trying to keep track of everything all by themselves. They have a team. Mm-hmm. They just, you guys could just have one more person. And that's like the person that's in charge of this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
I know you agree. I know you agree with me. I'm saying it out into the world. I'm pleading to the Erins.
Oh, man. Let's see. I will say, as much as I fucking hate Broken Star, hearing why he is named Broken Star, or Broken Kit, destroyed me. I was like, oh, no, you can't do it, Yellowfang. This hurts.
Fucking killed me. The whole scene of her going out into the snow to deliver her kits.
And two of them dying. God, it was so devastating.
And her being so, like, always sort of just quietly thinking about her daughters.
Mm-hmm. I know they didn't give the names in the book, I don't think, but her daughters' names are Wish Kit and Hope Kit, which just makes it even worse. It's just so much worse. I know we're kind of bouncing all over the place with this, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. It's not like we don't do that every time.
It's our podcast.
Another thing I thought was interesting is I'm pretty sure the two cats that weren't part of the clan that Yellowfang was able to feel the pain of were Boulder and Russet Paw before they joined the clan. Like, in that battle, she was feeling Red and Boulder's pain.
Oh, yeah,
and that,
right.
like, foreshadows them becoming part of ShadowClan. I thought that was a nice little detail.
That is a nice little detail. I did not... Literally, you heard how long the summary was. I had to cut Russet Fur and Boulder completely out of the summary because there was so much shit that happened in this book that I had to put in the summary. The summary was like 2 pages long. But I really love the story of Boulder and Russet Fur. And like Russet Fur especially goes on to like have a major role across the books that I'm really excited to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And I really liked seeing the origin story of these two cats from Two Leg Place that decided to join.
It was so good, and they weren't like spies or anything, and that was just so refreshing.
It was so nice that they weren't spies, but I liked that they weren't spies, but they still had what I thought was a good use of like the miscommunication trope here with the other cats, like the attack and the cats from Two Leg Place thinking that the clan cats had taken them hostage when really they wanted to come and live there, and I thought that was all really good.
Yeah.
Also didn't end up getting mentioned in the summary, but boy, they go to Carrion Place and fight rats a fucking lot.
They sure do. They sure do and fight rats a lot.
Why do they keep going over there? Stop going to Carrion Place. It's bad. Stop going to the dump to fight rats. It's bad over there every time.
It's bad every time.
It's bad over there every time. I mentioned it earlier, but as everything moves along and you see Broken Kit go from, you know, being like a kind of
ostracized
young Kit into this very... Like, I thought it was really interesting and maybe not necessarily the most, like, in depth, the most there wasn't like a lot of texture there, but the fact that like one of the reasons that he ended up becoming the way that he was, or at least the reason that he sort of pushed so hard in that direction, is because it was the way that he was getting praise and like becoming accepted by his other clan members, was that he was like really good at practicing fighting and stuff, and they were like, wow, it's really cool that you're so good at fighting, and that sort of pushed him in this direction, which I thought was interesting. But also he is doomed by the narrative to be evil, including giving his mother a death glare as a newborn baby,
wild.
Basically.
That was a wild time.
So
gamers,
much.
do you ever give birth to what if you give birth to a child and the vibes are off?
What if your baby's vibes are just fucking rancid?
Why are there so many deadbeat dads? Have we ever stopped to question whether the kids' vibes are just rancid? I think about that tweet all the time.
It's an extremely weirdly very apt for warrior cats in general. Because we also have had that with Pine Star and his son. The vibes are off.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching Yellowfang go from being like so overflowing with love and care as a kid to
this
and like
angry, jaded woman. It was so good.
It's so good. And also the whole thing where she is so like, she has this whole arc where she has to give up her children and she's like devastated over it, and then what does her child do? Turns around and accuses her of brutally murdering her younger sisters. Like, fucked up if true. It happens. It does happen. Anyways, it's good.
It's wild.
It was good shit. I don't know that I have anything articulate to say about it, but it was good shit.
Yeah. Seeing ShadowClan's descent, I really loved that. Because like we've mentioned before, when we are introduced to ShadowClan in Into the Wild as like your first time reading Warriors back in 2003, ShadowClan is evil. Like, you're just like, oh yeah, that's the evil clan.
That's the evil clan.
Evil group. But seeing how Cedar Star and even Ragged Star, who I was like, oh, I know he does like not some not great things, but like even Ragged Star was like pretty damn good leader.
Yeah, he wasn't evil coded in the end. He was maybe overly ambitious and maybe a little bit stupid brained sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes man's not be thinking, but not evil, not like capital E evil.
Yeah, not Broken Star evil. But it was so fascinating and so like rewarding to me to see ShadowClan go from a good clan to what they are in the Prophecies Begin. Because I have always felt like, why do we have to make them the ones in the dark area, the bad cats? But like, seeing that things were good and how they got so bad was really nice to me.
Yeah, I think that adds so much richness that's going to make reading and discussing the Prophecies Begin all that much better. And just like improve my enjoyment of the books as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. And I just feel for all those fucking cats.
Those cats have it so rough.
Like I said, I enjoyed Yellowfang before this book. This book made me adore her. Yeah. Like, I feel that this book did a really good job of showing how she got to where she is, how ShadowClan got to where they are. I feel like it was as many inconsistencies as there were, I feel like it was a very good guide to how things got as bad as they did.
Yeah, I mean, I clown on all those little bits where it's like, really, you can't get this to line up, but like as a individual story, I thought this was great.
Yeah, very tight.
Really, it felt almost like an understated prestige drama. There was something about it that had that feeling more than like, there's a lot of time it's very like bombastic, adventurous, high drama, melodrama, all of this stuff. This one, it had some of that stuff, but it felt a lot more understated, and it felt a lot more like embroiled in these personal stories
yes,
than like a big overarching conflict, even though there are conflicts, but it's so much of it is internal in a way that I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a very introspective book.
Yes, exactly. And
I think lot
that's
of
really
Yellowfang's stuff is very internal, which makes sense because she can't fucking talk to anybody about her shit. Like, she can't.
She can't. They're gonna say they're gonna exile her if she says her secrets.
Yeah. I feel like I don't really have much else about this book in particular, except for I see here on the notes you put Firepaw spotted.
Firepaw spotted!
And I had in my notes, all caps, 2 exclamation points, Barley! Because Barley was there, and I love Barley.
There was a Barley cameo. I was like, Barley!
And then I also have the famous line, which for those of you unaware, I think it's a Tumblr post going around that's like, why does Warriors have the rawest lines? And then you remember it's fucking cats talking, and it's, you seem in an awful hurry to die, he meowed.
Oh, it's...
That post gets me every time. I think I've been sent it about 20 times. And I laugh every time it comes across my dash.
It's so good. It's so funny. Man, I love warrior cats.
Me too. Speaking of loving warrior cats, can we talk about Exile from ShadowClan?
Yes, I want to talk about Exile from ShadowClan. I loved this. I loved this manga.
This book so much. I want to go find a copy of it because, wow. I love Nightpelt.
Nightpelt's a fucking guy. That's a fucking guy right there.
I think he is such a good fucking character in this manga. Good. He is so well done. He is so kind and good and brave, and he's just a good boy. He's a certified good boy.
He is a certified good boy. I really thought that it was so delightful to see this narrative with this manga that was so focused on community building and sort of this seeing very much like an individualist society versus a communal society, and seeing how those two things play against each other. And literally was seeing in this manga about cats, them talk about, stuff that I talk about a lot in, critique of capitalism and America and exceptionalism and all this shit like that. But fucking pulling yourself up by your bootstraps bullshit. And so it was just fun. I just had a great time. I was like, wow, this is just this is just great.
And like, the things that I saw people talking about with it is like, we have mentioned that a lot of the early warrior stuff has such a huge problem with ableism and ageism and things like that. And this graphic novel absolutely does not. Like, it is all about like caring for those who need the assistance of others and like how important and critical that is.
It's all about community building and caring for your community. I'm lifting my arms up in the air.
Also, as someone who suffers from asthma a lot, I just find that Nightpelt was a very relatable little character. Because he was like, I want
a chronic cough.
Yeah, he was like, I want to do it. Very, very Grey Wing, I will say.
We're back in Grey Wing territory, which is great. I love to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the moments where he's like, I want to do things and I just can't. Like, there's just sometimes you just can't.
Yeah.
There was some moments I think it was probably shown in the manga and also in Yellowfang's secret, but like the scenes where he talks about how his cough does get better if he's not tasked with so many warrior duties, and how that's like frustrating to him.
Mm-hmm.
Good shit. Good shit.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, that's the thing that I complain about all the time with my own asthma. I'm like, damn, I used to be able to do this, but because I keep fucking coughing, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just a very well done side story. Offered some great perspective on some of these events that happen in The Prophecies Begin, and towards the end of Yellowfang's Secret, gave us like a really good glimpse at, again, the positive parts of ShadowClan. Also,
which I think is so important.
One of the things that I also just really liked, and I mentioned this when I was reading it, I just loved the art. I just really loved the color. Like, the use of color was fantastic, because when I was reading them when I was younger, none of the manga were colored.
Mm-hmm. That's a relatively new thing that they actually brought the illustrator back in and had him do, like, a color treatment.
And wowzers, Bowsers, I just think it's so vibrant and fun.
Yeah, I think the color adds so much. I'm so in love with the coloring.
And I just love the way that Nightpelt is drawn. I think he's so scrungly and so cute. It's just, he's got such good facial expressions.
There's something about his head being just like...
so oval.
It's just, he's so oval in the best way.
And, like, every time you see him cough, like, it's like a full body thing. It's so good.
It's good.
It's so well done. Props to our fucking illustrator here. He rules. We're going to talk about him in a second.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him in the Erin Corner. But yeah, I was equally... in the past, I have clowned a little bit on like the cats with man faces feeling of some of the art sometime, but when you're reading it, man, it really works. I like seeing it isolated feels silly, but once you're in it, like I got so into it, and yeah, there's actually a lot of great gesture, there's a lot of great shapes, there's like good expression work. I'm a big fan. Mm-hmm. Should we go to the Erin Corner? Do you have anything else you want to cover before?
No, I just really liked that manga. I just thought it was
really good.
It was fun. It was a really good thing. I think it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. And I'm definitely going to give it a reread.
Yeah.
I'm ready to head to the Erin Corner.
All right, here we go to the Erin Corner. Yellowfang's Secret was written by Cherith Baldry, who has said that she really relates to Yellowfang because, like her, she gets irritated easily, which I thought was like a cute thing to point out. And generally, from what I could find, all of the Erins, like Yellowfang is one of the favorites of any of the Erins when they're asked, like, who's your favorite cat to write? Or who's your favorite cat in general? Mm-hmm. Or, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And, like, just about everybody mentions Yellowfang. Kate Carey specifically, when asked if she could bring any warrior cat into the world, which one would it be? She said it would be Yellowfang so that she can give her a nice, happy home in her old age, which made me very emotional.
Oh. That's so devastating.
I know.
Oh.
Vicky Holmes did specifically talk about that she thinks Yellowfang might have British short-hair ancestry, which contributes to sort of the flatter face. I'm still more in, like, I picture her more as a Persian than just as a British short-hair, but both of them do have those kind of rounded, flattened faces. I just think it's fun to think about what breeds of cat the cats are. Mm-hmm. It makes me so happy to do that.
It's fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I kind of touched on this already, that I think that Cherith's tendency towards drier or less sensational books continues to hold here, but I think that it was put to I think she was putting her best foot forward for this one, and like I said, she kind of took her propensity towards the understated, towards the more introspective side of the stories, and really like did great work with it. I think this is probably my favorite Cherith thing that we have read so far. I'll have to look back at the notes and see, but yeah, I really had a good time with this one. So that's what I've got for Yellowfang's Secret itself. Couldn't find too much by way of, I was hoping for more trivia about like the writing of it or anything, but I couldn't particularly find anything. Did find some great info on the manga though, because prior to this, I had thought that the writer and illustrator for the manga was all the same person, but it turns out it's two different people. There's Dan Jolly, who does the writing for them, who also is involved in comics, and then James Barry is the illustrator, and he has some like videos on YouTube that sort of show some of his work, like the physical drawings, because a lot of these were done traditionally, and those are really fun to see. And like I said earlier, I really like that he was hired. When they republished them, they decided to do these full color versions, and they rehired him to do the color himself, which I just really like. So shout out to the publishers on that one. We love it when an artist gets to, continue being involved in their work. I also put in the notes here this screenshot of him holding this painting of Ravenpaw and Barley, which is just so good.
It's so cute.
Because he does sort of similar to the style of the original covers, with a little square or rectangle in the middle that is sort of a portrait, and then there is a wider image behind that. And
much like our cover art for the podcast.
Yes, that's what inspired the way that I do the cover art for the podcast. And he does these in I believe it's like acrylic paint or gouache on actual little canvases, or I'm not sure if it's canvas or if it is like a wood, like a block of wood, but it's great, and they're just hand sized, and from an artist standpoint, it just makes me really happy to see that stuff. I love seeing process. I love seeing like the physicality of that.
I love art in all its forms. I am immensely impressed by artists all the time. There is just something so lovely about seeing such skill with like traditional art as well, and then seeing how it, like, knowing that these are done traditionally is astounding to me.
It just makes me really happy
because it is so much, like, there is so much in there, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that you did this by hand?
You mean to tell me this man has like a pile of papers yay high in his...
Oh, I feel like I've told you this before. He sells the originals.
Yeah, sells them on Etsy,
I think Etsy,
right? Yeah. Like the pages that he has, and it's great.
Yeah.
And he's just also seems like a really like nice, cool, charming dude. Guy. Yeah, just like a nice dude. But that's about what I've got for the Erin Corner today. Just a bunch of
cool stuff. Yeah.
A bunch of cool stuff. You can tell we've been recording a while. We're starting to
We're starting to flag.
I'm starting to flag. I started to lose my train of thought. Take us to...
let's go share some tongues. Let's share
some tongues.
I don't have a ton to say because I did not watch a lot of the AMVs because a great deal of them are animation practices, or they deal with like her actions in the Prophecies Begin, so I'm going to revisit them later on just to like double check. But we've got quite a few. Yellowfang seems to be decently popular for her actions, mostly in the main series, but there are a few that are definitely like from Yellowfang's secret. And she seemed like a really popular one for folks to like practice animating with, which I think is really fun because she is such a very expressive character.
Yeah, she's got a lot of personality, which would be good for that.
Tumblr didn't have much. There's a ton of art, though. Not like scene art, but a lot of character designs, because we are getting into like cats that people are familiar with. So there's just like a billion Yellowfangs. It's so great. This is where I saw the thing pointing out the inconsistencies in the Wind Clan ShadowClan drama. Someone called this the most miserable book in all of Warriors, which I don't know if I agree with, but it is pretty depressing. It's
pretty depressing. I think that I was still more depressed by Tallstar's Revenge for the most part. But that might be a personal thing. But there was some fucking brutal shit. I did post in our chat that we needed to add a tally under my name for the times this stupid Warriors series has made me cry. But the reason we had to add a tally for that is because of Exile from ShadowClan. So, what can we say? Yeah. Somebody clowning on the way Archai's eyebrow is in the manga. He's got the fucking DreamWorks. He's got the DreamWorks face the whole time.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's great. I love it.
Funny.
Thank you so much, Barry, for that. Somebody in the tags called Blackfoot their fucking loser meow meow. So there's that too. But other than that, not much burning in the Tumblr tags. AO3, quite a bit. I will say. The first thing that I saw when I opened up AO3 was somebody is retelling all of Star Wars, but setting them as warrior cats. So that's going on. Did not read it, but I did just peek through the allegiances. Seems very detailed. There were 5 fics tagged for Yellowfang's Secret, 21 for Ragged Star, 184 for Blackfoot, and 255 with Yellowfang tagged. Meaning Yellowfang played a significant role in that fic. So good on our queen. There were 8 specifically for Yellowfang and Ragged Pelt as a couple. 135 featuring Broken Tail. Makes sense. 54 for Running Nose, and 39 for Night Pelt. But I said that Night Pelt deserves more, and like half of them are discontinued, so I feel bad for my king.
Yeah, he's so good, but really, like,
I'm gonna make up for this.
We've seen him be the star of the show, and he's not really going to get his time in the spotlight again. I don't think. Yeah,
I'm gonna write him a fic. I think that's gonna have to happen.
He deserves it. He's so good. I love Night Pelt.
Yeah, I think that's really all I had. I did not delve into Reddit this time. I didn't want to go in there.
No Reddit today.
I just was not feeling it. I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's never anything in the Reddit.
Yeah.
So that's about it. I really enjoyed this book. I feel like, as mentioned, Exile from ShadowClan is only a year old, so it's not like...
Yeah, it just came out in 2022, which is wild to me.
It's not terribly surprising, I would say, that there's not a ton for it, given that it was a graphic novel release in the year 2022. But, you know, it's good. It's good stuff.
It was good. Highly recommend. Yeah. One of the things I can recommend the most highly.
I agree.
I
really enjoyed Exile from ShadowClan. Very good.
It was a delight. I'm actually a lot more excited to delve into more of the manga in the coming episodes now. Just based on how much I enjoyed that. Anything else, or should we talk about our Warrior Cat of the Week?
I think we should talk about our Warrior Cat of the Week, because I had such a tough time picking. Yeah, I had 3 that were neck and neck.
Mm-hmm. Mine was also a tough choice, but it ended up being the same for both stories, and it is, I mean, speaking of Night Pelt, it's Night Pelt for me. I loved his conversations with Yellowfang in Yellowfang's Secret. And I loved seeing that and his the way that he was presented there, expanded upon in Exile from ShadowClan. I think he deserves so much better. We didn't really get into it, but fuck StarClan once again.
Literally.
Absolutely unacceptable behavior from StarClan. Oh, we can't, I'm so sorry, we can't give you 9 lives because we got the evil cat and he already has his 9 lives. We can't revoke him. He kept his promise.
Yeah, fucking bullshit.
Fucking bullshit. Stop that. Anyways, Night Pelt is my Warrior Cat of the Week. I love you, Night Pelt.
Mine is also Night Pelt.
Let's go!
I mean, we kind of knew this was coming based on just how much I've raved about him. But he was I was torn between, when I finished Yellowfang's Secret, I was torn between Running Nose, Night Pelt, and Cloud Pelt.
That was the 3 that I was also debating.
Holy shit. But then reading Exile from ShadowClan, rocketed Night Pelt to the top.
Yeah.
I just think he was a very well done character. I really enjoyed everything from him. And, there is something to be said, too, for Running Nose and Cloud Pelt. It Definitely. Was... I really loved Cloud Pelt. I feel like I didn't talk enough about him, but I feel like he was such a good character. And I'm so sad that he died so horribly.
I know!
Because Cloud Pelt nearly dying in the first place was the thing that was Yellowfang was so desperate, and I was just rooting the entire time. I was please let this work out. She's trying so hard. And then he was just so sweet to her afterwards. They were buds, and it was so...
Yeah, they really became friends, which was so heartwarming.
Yeah, it was really good. And then, of course, Running Nose. Running Nose had a few moments where I was Running Nose, are you kidding me right now? But, I really liked him. I thought he was just a great apprentice to Yellowfang. He was so sweet and kind, and he was always like, he dealt with her bad moods when she had them, like, so well. He was like, that's all right. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
I know. I love how he's such a good foil to Yellowfang here with, like, he's very sort of passive. He's very timid. He is really, like, anxious and, like, really trying so hard to do his best, and Yellowfang is very, like, brash and you know, comes off as confident, even if we know internally she's got a lot of conflict, but she's always, like, trying to get him to kind of stand up for himself and everything. And I think that the detail in the story of Running Nose making the really difficult decision to stay in ShadowClan, even though he wanted to support Yellowfang and to stay there because he could not leave ShadowClan without a medicine cat when Yellowfang was exiled. I loved that scene.
Yeah, that was really good. Oh, I can't wait to see more of him, because I really was never, like, I know you mentioned, like, oh, I really loved Running Nose when he was in the original series. I, like, straight up forgot about him. So I'm really excited to, like, go into the series and being like, oh, there's my guy Running Nose. Like, I'm excited about that.
There was always something as a child. I was so, like, drawn to the fact that he's just always got a runny nose. I suppose he probably has some sort of allergies, but I mean, his name is literal. His name is Running Nose because his nose is always running.
It's so good.
And I think they also describe him as having, like, crusty eyes. And
he's got later. Like eye bag. He's got, like, Gucci eye bags in the.
He does have Gucci eye bags in the manga.
It's so good. I love him.
But yeah, he's just, there was always something about that was so charming to me, even in childhood. And so now I know I've seen more of him. I know more about him. I'm like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
So shout out to Running Nose. Shout out to Nightpel, also my guy. So many chronically ill kings in this book.
Really?
In these two stories.
That's so true. Well, I was really worried that we wouldn't have a ton to talk about, but I feel like we, just because I feel like I didn't take a lot of notes other than I really enjoyed both of these books. But I feel like this was really good.
Yeah, this was a great one. I had a great time. Excited to see whatever is happening in Blue Star's Prophecy and Rise of Scourge.
Me too. Today I read the author's note in the very front of Rise of Scourge, and I'm going to be talking about that in our next episode.
Ooh, exciting. A little preview. Well, until then, dear listeners, if you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws, as in what a cat has, claws, as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Twitter at Paws and Claws and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. You can find me on Twitter or Tumblr at HumbleGoat, and you can see the art I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com. Links to my portfolio as well as my Ko-fi page will also be in the show notes.
And you can also find me on Twitter at plot_twists or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. I'm also on Blue Sky. That's a new thing. I'm plot-twists on Blue Sky there. But you can find all of my links at my card, which will be linked in the show notes. That will also have access to the secret projects I alluded to. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss Blue Star's Prophecy and the Rise of Scourge manga. Read along by buying the books from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws, even if they are really bad at it.